With 1.1 million Cretas on Indian roads since 2015, the success of the SUV has been well documented. But as our country and the whole world moves towards electric future, it was only a matter of time before Hyundai Motor India decided to bring in an all-electric mass market offering, and this time it is the Hyundai Creta Electric. Now remember, the Koreans have already had the Ioniq 5 and the Kona, but this car really wants to be the biggest statement from the Koreans. Can it actually deliver a very, very solid punch in the Indian car market? You're watching HT Auto. I'm Shubhadeep Chakravarti, and in this video, we'll be telling you some of the key highlights of this car right here. Now, if you like how the Creta engine version looks, then chances are that you would really appreciate how the Creta Electric is to look at from the outside. Now, the core elements of the Creta has been retained on the electric version as well. So you get the stretch light bar, the DRLs are same, and the fog light units are also the same. The headlight units identical. What you do get on the electric version though, of course, is a closed front section which is entirely closed apart from the adaptive air flaps, which is unique in not just the Creta Electric but electric cars. The role of the adaptive air flaps are to open up automatically when there is the need for cooling the internal components, but of course you don't get any manual control over it. The charging inlet for the Creta EV has been placed on the face, which is fine, except the gaps here are a little too visible, and therefore the finish, at least to the eyes, don't look all that great. You also get the camera and sensors for the ADAS functionality. Of course, the Creta Electric would have gotten ADAS and a whole lot of functionality on that, but we'll come to that in just a little bit. On the side, the Creta stands on 17-inch wheels, but these are special, unique, low rolling resistance wheels to enhance the range of the model. You also get specially designed aero alloys here, which again contribute to the range and driving efficiency of the Creta electric vehicle. The color that you see here, well, it's called Oceanic Blue, and it is exclusive to the Creta electric version. Overall though, you can choose from as many as 10 color options on the electric version. Apart from that, there is not much to set this car apart from its engine version, and that's frankly fine because it does have that familiar, much like design aspect of the conventional Creta. Now at the back too, the familiarity continues. You get a shark fin antenna at the top, a bit of a roof spoiler here with the brake lights on top. The lighting signature is also identical to what you get on the Creta conventional version, but here at the lower half, it tells you that this is an electric version. Now the boot space inside the Creta EV is at around 460 liters. So in real world, what that means is that the boot here is big enough for two carry-on luggages like this and one massive suitcase that we've planted behind the both of them. Of course, you also get a 21-liter frunk. For those who are not familiar with what a frunk is, that's a front trunk. And for now, we've placed our charging cable in that compartment. Now, charging cable, of course, is because this is an electric car, and therefore, what is the most important aspect of any electric car? The battery and the range. The Creta electric vehicle is offered with two battery pack options, a 42 kilowatt hour and a 51.4 kilowatt hour for a best drive range, at least the claimed range, of around 470-475. If you opt for the smaller battery pack, the claimed range is at around 390. But before we also tell you more about the range, and of course for me that is the biggest draw, there are a whole lot of feature additions that the Creta electric vehicle benefits from. Let me take you through some of them. Now the cabin of the Creta EV is largely similar to that of the conventional Creta, except there are certain unique elements here. But before we get to them, let me tell you what is shared between the engine and the battery versions of this model. Now, for example, the curvilinear screen is the central command here. Well, we've spoken extensively about it in our review of the Creta and the Creta N-Line 2. So that has been carried forward to the EV version. You get an 8-speaker Bose sound system, again carried forward. The front two seats have ventilation, so that's great too. The buttons are located here on the center console. You get wireless charging pad on the central dash here. You get fully automatic climate control. You get cool glove box and the Underarm storage space also has cooling function, so that's great too. Above, panoramic sunroof, pretty much standard for most modern day cars, especially the ones from the Hyundai stable. Now, these are some of the great feature additions on the Creta EV that you also get on the Creta. What's unique here, and my personal favorite, is that you get a driver-only air conditioning mode, which means at the press of a button, only the fan vents, the AC vents on the driver's side get activated, and Hyundai tells us this is to actually enhance efficiency and range of the vehicle. What's unique though is also the steering wheel here. You don't get an H here for Hyundai. What you do get is a Morse code, so 4 dots, which again the company officials tell us actually stand for H here. So this is something unique that the Creta EV has that the Creta doesn't. Apart from this, you get storage space here at the center console. It's a floating type center console here, so you get that. You get 2 cup holders on the center console here as well, so plenty of storage spaces all around the vehicle. There is a decent amount of ride height here. You can adjust this seat for electronically actually for both forward, back and the height as well. This seat of course gets functions to control on the side as well. So somebody seated at the back, and especially if you are chauffeur driven and you sit at the back, you can control this from the back seat as well. Now this too is something you get on the regular Creta as well. The all-digital driver display has been carried forward, like I said, but the interface has been completely revamped for the electric version. The display, the numbers are all really bright, really large. You get clearly, you can see the amount of battery left in percentage terms, the range left again in numerical terms, and the speed and so on and so forth. Now this car also comes with ADAS functionality, so you get the controls on the steering wheel and you get the signage on the driver display. Hyundai tells us that because this is an EV, the materials used in the seats here are all from recyclable materials. So that's corn residue and paper straw and the likes that have gone into making the seats. And the front seats also get very specific Creta EV stitching on them. So the back seat of this car is actually where you would want to be. And yes, this is still a Creta, but why I say that is because there is enormous amount of space that is on offer. In fact, very impressed with the under-thigh support that I have here. The back portion of the front seats are scooped, so I have a very generous amount of knee room as well, and space for my feet is quite adequate too. You get the usual fare of a central console here which folds with as cup holders as well. You get dedicated AC vents, you get Type-C charging points, more storage options at the back of the center console here, and you get the IT device storage tray here complete with a cup holder. Now, because you would most likely place a tablet or a laptop and be working, so well, something unique to the Creta now is a charging option here, a conventional point like you find at your home, so you can power your tablet, your laptop, or even things like coffee machine and external projectors. But while it is nice to be seated in the back seats, power your devices, have a lot of space, have dedicated AC vents and so on and so forth, we would love to actually find out how the Creta EV drives and how long the EV can drive itself. So, well, the business end of this review, it's time to take the Creta EV on the go. The Creta EV gets a single motor setup, and depending on the battery pack, you can get up to 168 bhp and 255 Newton meters of torque. On the move, the EV feels very sure-footed, and we immediately engaged the normal drive mode with level 2 regen. Also, we kept the air conditioning on for most parts. The relatively high ground clearance helped us navigate the rare bad patches on the ECR between Chennai and Puducherry, while the ADAS functions also fared on point. A special call out for the Smart Cruise with Stop Start, which lets you set the speed, allows the EV to monitor the road conditions ahead and brake and accelerate accordingly. Aggressive driving is possible with the Creta EV with the sports mode engaged, and Hyundai says 100 km/h from standstill comes in 7.9 seconds. But then you sacrifice a whole lot of range in the process. Thankfully, the Hyundai app has thousands of charges marked, and the EV itself makes payment from the display screen possible. Unfortunately though, we didn't have enough time to test the charging speeds, but again the company says 11 kWh home charger claims to power the EV in around 4 hours. After all is said and done and driven, two core factors will determine the success of the Creta EV. It is Hyundai, a brand that has a lot of reliability in the Indian market, and Creta, a name that has earned a lot of goodwill over the past decade. The battery pack inside the Creta EV is on the smaller side, and that is my biggest concern as far as this particular model is concerned. But as far as its driving dynamics are concerned, the feature list and the performance, all of them are actually well above par. The Creta EV will take on the likes of the Tata Curve EV and the Mahindra BE6 in a frontal battle. But in the interest of full disclosure, at the time of shooting of this video, we do not know how Hyundai has priced this car. As soon as we get to know, we will put the entire price list at the bottom of your screen. But my expectation is that ideally, Hyundai should price the Creta EV aggressively, say somewhere between the rupees 18 lakh and rupees 20 lakh price brackets ex-showroom. At these price points, the Creta EV will make a solid case for itself. Anything over and above, I'm not entirely sure, not entirely convinced. What do you make though of the Hyundai Creta EV? That is what is very, very important. Do let us know. Do also let us know what you made of this video, and give us a thumbs up and share this with as many as you possibly can. Do follow us on our social media handles, and for this episode though, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for watching.